Well, would you look at that? Uh, Ask and you shall receive, right? This is a breakdown, an explanation. So I'm going to react to that because I was, it left me, I was curious, man. I'm glad someone sent me this link because now I'm like, thank you. Man, thank you for that because I would just be here going, man, what did I just see? Um, and what's interesting, I'm just noticing now, if you look at it, it's like 600,000 views. So it looks like it's a breakdown. Everyone that wanted to understand it is a lot less than that other number, that 234 million. A lot of us forget sometimes, man. Everyone's coming online all over the globe, and there's a lot more folks that understand the language. If there's other languages being spoken here. Wait, Korean explains BTS Suga's mixtape. Uh, who's Suga? Suga. I'm saying Suga. The song is full. Okay, let's see what's up. We'll just see. We'll check this out. I just want to understand. Oh yeah, it does do just a little bit of breakdown. Let's see what's going on up in here. Oh, sorry guys. Probably just a speaker probably just echoed right there, huh?
Suga has delivered another hard-hitting mixtape titled D2. The first August D album, released in 2016, focused on the tough times Suga faced when he was a teenager. Suga's at a very different place now. He's much older and he's much more successful.
Oh wait,
And this album focuses on
so
the
that's
changes in
him.
this.
August D is also Suga. Suga? I don't want to butcher this, man.
Feelings after becoming one of music's biggest superstars. It's a very honest album, and my personal favorite off of this is the title track, Techita. It's an ultimate flex track slash warning slash reminder with tons of historical references, so let's take a look into it.
He's saying Techita, Techita. This is my... That is a cool outfit, though, I'd have to say. Yeah. I love those pants. Or those, I think they're pants, I'm thinking pants. Starting to catch on to me now. Starting to become... Is that my dog?
Techita is Korean traditional marching music that was played when kings or royalty were moving about or important guests would visit, as well as when army would be marching. There are two main characters in this music video, a King Suga and a bottom class Suga. We can see that the King Suga is a tyrant. He has everyone kneeling down with the faces down in the ground. And he beheads people who have complaints in this scene. You can see the Shinmungo here. People in the Joseon dynasty would hit this drum if they had something that they've been wronged. They'd hit this drum and the king or someone up in the hierarchy would come and sort out their problems. Except here, King Suga is killing the people who have such complaints and issues. But the bottom class Suga, with the help of BTS and army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene,
bottom class Suga,
starts
same guy. Yeah.
He drives up a
car
with the men representing BTS and also a cute painting of Bang PD. By the way, this painting has its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Bang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees this and gives a thumbs down and captures the bottom class Suga. The King Suga wants to kill him and does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days. Meanwhile, bottom class Suga,
learned that in 2 days,
and tied down, starts headbanging, singing Techita.
Oh, there's some deep history going on up in here, dude. I knew I wanted to know more. With the whole king and stuff.
I told you that Techita was played when kings were about, or when the army would be marching. The bottom class Suga singing this is an announcement that he is actually the real king. He feels like he's the king. The people under the king, the very ones that were kneeling to him in the beginning, are now joining Suga.
Dude, this is almost similar to, right? Simba and Circle of Life, right? Scar. It's got the scar face. Oh, dude. That's interesting.
Banging with him. This Techita is also for them. These Minuli people are armies marching together with the bottom class Shiga.
I knew there was some
too. At the end, the executioner who was supposed to take down the bottom class Shiga actually frees him and gives him a gun. Bottom class Shiga grabs this and shoots the king. I think the MV and the song is a metaphor for BTS and ARMY taking down the existing system and the ruling forces of the industry. The King Shiga represents the system, the existing system, the few powerful companies that had control over the industry before BTS came to the scene. Bottom class Shiga is Shiga himself in a small company with basically nothing, as if he was born into a bottom class, and winning the people over, eventually taking down the king with BTS and armies. I think Shiga picked the perfect motif to convey his message. And if you look at the historical references, you'll be more amazed at how clever this all is.
Born a slave, no king. Bitch, that's my dragon. That's the way I live. Sorry, don't worry. Okay, starting to relate.
Well, the single verse has a lot to unpack, but let's just start with this line. The Joseon Dynasty, which is most likely where the song is set in, had a strict class system where there was a heavy discrimination based on which class you were born into. Slaves were not even considered human. They would be traded in cases their owners didn't have enough money, and they were thought of more as just things. Think about the mistreatment that BTS received earlier on in their careers. They faced heavy discrimination due to them being from a small company, and they were mistreated. So it's easy to understand why Shiga called himself a slave here. Slaves in Joseon were almost completely blocked off from advancing to higher classes. So for a slave to become a king is basically impossible. But Shiga's saying he made it happen.
Wow.
The following line is a reference to Kwang Hae-gun, the king of Joseon Dynasty in the 17th century. He developed paranoia while in power and notoriously became violent and reckless. Hence the line, Berserk Tiger, Kwang Hae flow. But I think there are more reasons Shiga referenced Kwang Hae in the lyrics, especially if you consider what his life was like. Kwang Hae-gun had a very roller coaster of a life. Originally, he was a war hero, defending Joseon against the Japanese invasion of 1592, one of the biggest wars in Korean history. His father, who was then king, had fled when the war broke out, and the 18-year-old Prince Kwang Hae led Joseon troops in the battlefield. Rarely at this time did kings or to-be kings go out into the battlefield themselves. So Kwang Hae, fighting with the people, won their hearts over, and there were movements to throne him as the king instead of his father. The father felt threatened by this, so he made a lot of political efforts to stop Kwang Hae from gaining influence. Eventually, Kwang Hae became stuck between two large political powers, and this struggle eventually made Kwang Hae go paranoid and become violent and reckless.